Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Mission Inspired, a CPG chat. I'm your host, Rusty Jones, co-founder of Hello Water. Today's guest is Alec Jaffe with Alec's Ice Cream. Alec, welcome to the stage. How we living, bud?
Hey, how's it going? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Nah, thanks for joining. If you could tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and what you got going on over at Alec's Ice Cream, and anything you want to share.
Yeah, totally. So I've been making ice cream all of my life. I started back in elementary school for a class project, and um, that just it was something that I enjoyed doing. And as I got older, was in the grocery store shopping for ice cream, of course, and I realized that there wasn't an ice cream that really matched exactly what I was looking for. I also really important part of this story is I grew up around relatives who were really involved in the sustainable agriculture movement. Did family reunions every year at their dry farm vineyard in the Central Valley in California. It really involved in agroecology. So I was learning about all these things around sustainability and agriculture for a while before people really were talking about them, other than a bunch of hippies. And I felt like there wasn't an ice cream that matched what I was looking for from a taste and sustainability perspective. And so that's what led me down this crazy winding path to start Alex Ice Cream.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I noticed that in the intro that I shared, your sustainability, and you also work with A2 Dairy. Can you share a little bit more about what that is and how that was kind of your point of differentiation from your product standpoint?
Yeah. So we have two really strong points of differentiation. We are the first certified regenerative organic ice cream. So both our dairy and our cane sugar are certified regeneratively farmed, which is awesome, and we can get into all the fun stuff about regenerative agriculture. And then also the dairy farm that we work with genetically tests their cows to produce A2 dairy. And we source all of our dairy from one family farm. So we know it's, it's A2, and we know what we're getting. And A2 dairy, the easiest way to think about it is A2 is a milk protein that's found in all mammals' milk. So goat milk, cow milk, sheep milk, human milk even has this A2 milk protein. But around 1,000 years ago, dairy cows had a genetic mutation that turned that A2 protein into an A1 protein. And that A1 protein is what causes digestive issues for a lot of humans when they're consuming cow's dairy milk. So, what this farm has done and what we're doing is taking cow's milk that's actually easy to digest, has that A2 milk protein, because that A1 protein is really what causes a lot of issues for people, especially the sort of like self diagnosed lactose intolerant crowd,
Right.
where it's like, I love ice cream or I love dairy, but I always don't feel too great after. Um, we've seen just like internally with people at our company and their family members, where all of a sudden they're like, wow, I feel totally fine after eating this, and don't skip a beat after having a bowl of ice cream.
That's awesome. Yeah, I worked for a dairy brand myself, so I'm familiar with how the better for you dairy and milk and ice cream has definitely come along, and just the benefits, and things like regenerative, and
Hmm.
kudos to you for making it part of the mission, and really making it part of the brand. Could you tell us, obviously, we're young entrepreneurs, we don't have it all figured out, but what I think we both probably have the same just thought. It was like, there's got to be a next generation of something. For us at Hello Water, it was like, there's got to be the next generation beverage. Fiber's been stuck in the pharmacy aisle, and I imagine that your experience with dairy, and the passion for ice cream. What was that? You're like, nope, I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah. So for me, the next gen ice cream really was, and this is the kind of leads to actually the last point of what makes us different that I forgot to mention is the taste component. So you had a lot of brands in the kind of 2000s, 2010s come out that really took that sort of that next jump of ice cream where they went from it was you go in the grocery store and it's just Ben and Jerry's and Haagen Dazs, um, and then all of a sudden you have brands like Jenny's and Van Leeuwen pop up. You know, Salt and Straw has their scoop shops doing really cool flavors and really upping the game on taste and doing that in a really cool way. But what I felt like is it seemed like in every other category in the grocery store, there were products that were coming out, these next gen products that tasted better, but also were better for you and better for the planet. And ice cream really hadn't done that. And so I felt like, why I don't want to sacrifice on taste to get a better for you, better for me, or better for planet attribute. Like for me, ice cream needs to taste amazing. If ice cream tastes bad, what's the point of eating ice cream? So everything we do, we want that to layer up to creating the best tasting ice cream you've ever had. And then we combine that with the regenerative agriculture, which helps sequester carbon from the air, pull it into the ground and store it there, and creating these carbon negative farms, or having that better for you component with the A2 dairy, where you can have dairy products and feel amazing. So that's really where I felt like combining that taste, better for the planet and better for you, all into one pint hadn't really been done up until we launched this product.
That's great. Switching it to branding and marketing, when you're going through, obviously we've had some great successes in CBG Better for You, whether it's Justin's Nut Butter or things like that. What was it about? You know what? I'm going to name this after myself. What's the thought process that goes through that? Because I often ask, Jimmy Bar and some of these other things. It's like maybe it's just that simple. Why didn't I
Yeah.
think of that?
Right. I mean, no, we spent a lot of time thinking about the name. Um, and we part of the challenge was, or part of the reason what we're thinking about with the name is, okay, we have all these amazing attributes about our product, amazing taste, sustainability, functional, but they're also concepts that are kind of newer. Not a lot of people have heard of regenerative agriculture. Not a lot of people have heard about A2 dairy. And so it's a lot to try and educate the consumer on all of that in on a little package when they're going through the grocery store and looking at your pack for like 2 seconds. So we were like, could we create a name that encompassed all these things and really nailed all these types of things that we want people to feel about our product? And we just never were able to come up with something that like really stuck with it. And we had always had, like, we went into the process having it be called Alex Ice Cream, and we challenged ourselves to be like, could we do anything different? And we ended up with Alex also just because I think there is that level of trust, and like I'm literally putting my name on this and behind this. And so, you know, it has to be good, because I don't want to go out there and have Alex Ice Cream be this mid-tier decent ice cream that's whatever. Like, I want you to buy Alex Ice Cream and be stoked that you have Alex Ice Cream in your freezer. So that's also like, I think something where it's like I'm putting my name on this, and it's going to be the best that it could possibly be. And if it isn't, send us a customer service email, and I'll be responding and
Right.
making it the best experience you've ever had.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was, and again, early stages when you're actually out there hustling it yourself. It's, hey, this is
Mhm.
Alex Ice Cream. I'm Alec. There's
Yeah.
just this, um, you know, genuine. I'm selling myself
Hmm.
along with here's the next gen ice cream product. So there's yeah, so that
It is
validation,
funny, yeah,
to it.
it is funny, like, doing demos, or, like, I'll be standing outside our factory, and I'll have, like, our shirt on, and people are like, "Oh, are you Alec?" People ask, like, everyone at our company, "Oh, are you Alec?" And then, like, when, I say, "Yeah," they get all excited, and it is kind of funny having that sort of component in it where people just get excited just because my name is Alec.
That's awesome. Um, for those entrepreneurs that are thinking about the dairy business or the ice cream business or even just the frozen section of the retail, what are some of those early learnings? Because in my experience, frozen is a really difficult category,
Yeah.
especially this day and age. Obviously, real estate is limited. It's owned by some of the bigger brands. Just in beverage, is the same thing. What are some of those early lessons that you learn pretty quickly, and you're able to share that hopefully someone else doesn't make the same mistake, or maybe it helped you, get some traction quicker.
There are so many lessons, and frozen is a really, especially ice cream, because the biggest lesson that I feel like, or I don't want to say the biggest lesson, but I think one of the things that I didn't think about enough that I should have was logistics and freight. And why I say that is because ice cream needs to be shipped at minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas every other frozen food is shipped at like 0 or -5 degrees. So you need to have specific ice cream trucks that are shipping out your product out to your distributors, warehouses, and things like that. And then, as a new brand, you're not sending a full truckload, you're sending one pallet, maybe a few pallets max when you're getting started out. So figuring out how you grow in a way that's strategic, where you're not just taking every single retailer that, says, yeah, we'll try you out, and really being thoughtful about how you're going to get the product to the customers is something that is just super important. Um, and then thinking about how are you going to get people to pay attention to your ice cream on shelf. There's limited merchandising opportunities. You can't do off shelf displays. They're not going to build an off shelf freezer for you. End caps are limited. So, all the things that you hear about, like beverages doing, and tons of the other startups that are popping up in other categories in ice cream and frozen, it's just more limited. You're working with limited real estate, and then like I said earlier, the challenge to even get to that real estate.
Yeah, I hear you. I live it.
Hmm.
Again, as a young brand, especially here, we talk about how do we build our community and make them a part of what we're doing quicker, so that they can be advocates and then go share it, and that's how it spreads. What are some of those early things that you're doing at Alex Ice Cream that just kind of were no brainer, whether it's social media or whatever, but then also maybe something that you've adopted that is really helping grow brand awareness for you?
What's been really interesting is it's been a lot of the kind of old school stuff that we've found has been really helpful. Also, because with ice cream, we have a direct to consumer component of the business, but it's really expensive to ship ice cream. It actually costs more as the consumer to buy our ice cream on our website than in a grocery store. And we'd rather honestly have you go buy the ice cream in a grocery store, because that's just where the bulk of our business is going to be. The direct to consumer thing is really cool, but so we're relying on, like, okay, how do we win in a grocery store environment? Is that like sending out direct mail coupons? We've done that and actually seen that perform pretty well and help drive velocity and drive trial. Um, we've also done a lot of things in the local community, like because we have a factory and it's right next to downtown Petaluma, so it's very accessible. Petaluma in Sonoma County, California, for those that don't know. Um, we've done like just free ice cream giveaways, especially during the pandemic when people were just like desperate for anything to do, just like to get out of their house. We hosted just a free ice cream drive-through where, like, just pull up to the factory, tell us what flavor you want, we'll throw a pint in your
Nice.
car, and off you go. So just doing stuff like that, where because we couldn't do demos either, so this is a great way to have people sample our product and try, and we really believe in our product. So
Yeah.
trying to think of just like, little things like that where we can get involved in the community. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. That was a big spike in just our local communities, all the restaurants and bars, and everybody was, grocery stores doing what they can. Hey, you can't
Hmm.
come in, but just drive by. And we'll hook you up. Whether it's, I know we here where I live, there's a taco joint that was doing free kid Monday, Tuesday. So if you
Yeah.
had a family with kids and you were struggling through the COVID times, then come get some free tacos. And it was just, amazing community booster. And it just spoke volumes of the companies that were doing that. So, kudos to you and the team for making that happen. So, again, mission inspired. What if not another brand, another entrepreneur is inspiring you today, or really made you think, oh wow, I want to be able to do that? Is it? It doesn't have to be somebody big. I'm just curious because we all have our own, but just curious as to what or whom keeps inspiring you to do this.
Totally. I mean, as an ice cream maker, seeing like I think Jenny and what she's accomplished and was kind of one of the first ones to show that you don't have to be Haagen-Dazs or Ben and Jerry's and you can be successful in ice cream. So she was definitely inspirational to me as I was getting started and thinking about making ice cream professionally. Um, I mean, also I'll plug our dairy supplier, Alexander Family Farms. Like, and I'm not just saying it. Like, I really am inspired by what they're doing. They've been pioneers in the regenerative space, um, and showing that you can create an awesome quality product. Like their dairy is just the best tasting milk I've ever had, and I'm an ice cream. I've tried a lot of different dairy, and showing that you can do it at scale and create a real business. And it's not a lot of people push back on regenerative agriculture as like, oh, that's cool for like someone's little personal, like if they have a little farm in their backyard or whatever. But like we have so many people to feed that couldn't possibly work. Well, they're showing that it's actually not true. You can, and they're really living by their values and doing what they're doing and creating an awesome product.
That's awesome. Well, Alec, thank you so much for joining the podcast today. I appreciate it. Congrats on what you're doing. Thank you so much for, again, jumping in, creating the next generation ice cream. I love the sustainability part. I love the regenerative parts. I know this, I keep saying on all these episodes, I know this isn't easy. So anything that we can do, over here at Hello Water to help you out, connection here, introduction there. Happy to do so. It obviously takes a village to raise a child, but not only to, but also to build a brand. So
Yeah.
best of luck in everything you're doing. Can you tell us where you can find Alex Ice Cream today, or if somebody wants to reach out and say hello and maybe get some words of wisdom?
Yeah, totally. So if you want to reach out, you can reach out to us directly on our website or Instagram or LinkedIn and Twitter, and I'll get back to you. You can find us in stores at retail all over the San Francisco Bay Area, in in almost every retailer, independent natural retailer. You can also find us in the fresh market, Mom's Organic Market, New Seasons, New Leaf. We'll be launching in Erewhon in the next couple of weeks. And you can find us in Harmon's, Mother's Market. So really just growing across the country. Also launched in Plum Market recently in the Midwest.
Nice.
So yeah,
Very nice. I'll have to pick some up at Plum here in
nice.
Chicago. So again, congrats. Keep doing what you're doing, and we will see you out there.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. This has been a mission inspired podcast, a CPG chat. I'm your host, Rusty Jones, co founder of Hello Water. Enjoy the day.